Hey, this is Therese, and it's another episode of the Fiercely Brilliant podcast. So, on this show, I like to talk to you about how to live brilliantly, how to live, not just brilliantly, like fiercely brilliant. Because what I believe is you are here for something great. Now, many of us express that through our businesses, right? So we start off as business owners, and then our soul's like, yeah, but this is the thing you're supposed to be doing. And sometimes we're like, oh, yippee skippy, I'll just jump over. And other times we're like, wait. Who am I? Can I do that? Can I say that? Scary stuff, right? So on this episode, I'm going to talk to you about, are you being visible or are you being seen? Okay. We all know as business owners, we have to get visibility. And most people think visibility, they think numbers. Like, I got to get in front of people. I need to have Twitter followers. I need to grow my Instagram platform. And I got to grow my email list and my followers, right? That's visibility, being out there. And so you hear people talk about, I need to be more visible. And I think the misunderstanding is I have to put myself, there has to be more, it's like a quantity thing, right? You need to do 4 posts a week. You need to do, a 7 email series follow-up campaign. Like, you have to be top of mind. So when people have a problem, they go, oh my God, well, the only one for that is Therese Skelly, of course. Okay. And that matters. Now, I know people that come to me a lot and say, I have visibility issues. I do a lot of work around visibility. I do a lot of work with messaging and helping people go, what exactly are you putting out? Who are you putting out? And I want to explain to you, I think there's a big distinction here that I don't think anybody else is talking about. I haven't heard them talk about it. I think you can be really visible. Like, you can just throw a bunch of stuff out, but are you really being seen? Have you ever, for example, been with somebody, or just on social media? Let's say you're on Facebook and you're watching somebody, and you see, and they have technically good marketing stuff. You're like, oh yeah. But if you stop for a minute, do you feel like you get their soul? Do you feel like they're vulnerable enough and real enough that you could go, yeah, I gotcha. And I think it's an easy mistake to make. Because when you're new, it's just like, grow your list, get your numbers, get more people, mail. And we're just given the directive that more is better and just slam shit out there. And eventually it'll stick. And while that's important, I don't want you to be visible and not seen. And this is where, when somebody says I have visibility issues or I'm having trouble with my messaging, it's usually this part of it. Because anybody can, it's easy to hire a social media manager and they just take parts of your blog, or they go on Canva and they put little graphics and with your quotes and boom. Or you're selling your stuff. That's, when you get in the system, it's relatively easy to do. Harder to do is to show them you. And I do have a bias here, right? I'll just own my bias. I'm really relational and I'm really transparent. So who I am with my boyfriend, who I am with my family, my kids, is the same who I am with my clients. There's no, I'm goofy, I'll be swearing, I'll be kind of, in a spiritual space. There's not let me put my work face on. For me, it's important that I be that person, because I don't want my marketing to reflect one thing, and then you get in my inner circle and you're like, really? The woman swears like a sailor. Some people actually hire me for that, FYI. It's adorable. But it's easier to just throw stuff out. And it's safer because we can hide behind like our I'm with this, so here's how do you fix that, as opposed to, let me tell you what's in my heart. Let me share with you what pisses me off. Let me share with you the real journey that I'm on. Let me share with you where sometimes I get doubts, or sometimes I have struggled as well. Let me share what breaks my heart, and let me share my joys, and let me share my stand for you in the world. But mostly, let me share me. And I really want you to look at, are you being visible or are you being seen? I feel like in this era, when I started, my gosh, when did I start? Well, I went to life coaching school in 2001. Okay, so do the math. Right? That's like 19 years ago. When I went to my very first networking group, I said, I'm a coach. And somebody said, oh, golf or tennis? Okay. Back then, back in 2005, 6, 7, 8, if somebody had a newsletter, it would be like, you have a newsletter? Oh my God. Like you send out regular, like that was only 10 years ago or so, 12 years ago. Now, how many newsletters, how much content is just proliferated. We're just slammed with so much, like it's hard to sort through it, right? And so my bias is the more you can show you, those of us who are relational buyers, those of us who want to understand what motivates you and what's in your heart, those of us who have that quality, we're going to find you. And one of the things I ask my, when I teach this stuff, because I teach a lot of messaging and visibility stuff, here's okay, so I'm going to ask you this. If there were 100 of you and your competitors in a room, why should they hire you? Okay, so I was in the business coaching space, right? You may be a therapist. You may be a web designer or a massage therapist. There's 100 of you. There's 100 of you, okay? And then you have the consumer walking in the room going, sheesh, how do I pick? Because y'all sound the same. Your price range is a little, like this, but y'all kind of talk about doing the same things. You all sort of have the same lingo. Now, some people are going to go, I just want the cheapest. Okay, you never want to be that. Don't be Walmart, as Dan Kennedy says. You don't want to compete with Walmart. And some people just say, well, I want the most expensive. Okay, those are choices. Don't ever go down here. But a consumer is, you solve a problem. Somebody says, why should, and I ask this when I teach this to groups, I'll say, why should somebody pick you? And the answers they give me are never right. Well, I have experience, and one of the things Dan Kennedy, the king of marketing, did say that I love, I should hope so. So if an accountant or a CPA or bookkeeper says I'm accurate, I should hope so. That's not a qualifier. That's not a differentiator. That's I would hope you would be accurate. That doesn't make you special, right? If a life coach says I'm so caring and I love all my clients, that kind of like you should hope so too, right? So anything that is the given, anything like, but I would expect that, like, if we raise the bar on our people we hire, I should hope my bookkeeper is accurate and my coaches care about me. That is not a differentiator. Very often, the things that make you stand out are the things that you're like, really? That? People would want that? I have to be seen for like, what are you talking about? That is crazy. And so I'll just give you 4 places. Now, I will tell you, it's kind of like, I sort of look at this like a kaleidoscope, right? It's not like you have to have all 4 things and here's the formula. There's no freaking formula, right? You just go, okay, that I can start with. And you don't just, you're not going to tear up your website and rip apart your marketing material. What you're going to do basically is you're going to basically say, oh, I'm going to start with this. And I'm just going to angle it a little tiny bit. I'm just going to do a little tiny thing here. See what we got going, right? Let me take a sip of water. Hold on one second. Okay. So what I want for you is to ask yourself, here's number 1, what have you overcome? Because people like an overcoming story. Now, best not to be in the middle of it. Okay. I've overcome bankruptcy. That was my big epiphany, a number of years ago. And I had so much shame. Oh my God, I can't even tell you how hard it was to start talking about it, because I thought for sure, if anybody hears about my bankruptcy story, I lose all credibility. This was in 2008, when the whole recession thing. And so I was afraid to share it until somebody said, actually, if I would hear you tell that story, I would trust you more, because I know you wouldn't judge me, and I know that you would have compassion, and you would just honor where I am too. And it was like, what? And so I used that story. I used to do a lot of work in the money space, right? Money mindset coach. I used the story of, I never want another woman to have to go through what I went through. And so the magnificence of that story is it's relatable. It's like I went through that so you don't have to. It became like a business thing for me. And it demonstrates lots of qualities, right? It demonstrates humility, it demonstrates persistence, tenacity, purpose. So if you have an overcoming story, some could be completely related to your business. I talked to a woman today who was raped, and it was a horrible, violent rape. And I'm actually going to bring her on this podcast and share. And she's a speaker on it now. She speaks about sexual violence. So she took her experience as I've taken mine, and it's directly attributable to our businesses today. Sometimes you've overcome something and it's not necessarily relatable to your business. You're not teaching how to overcome that, but it just speaks of your character. It speaks of lessons you learned, right? It speaks of, again, relatability. Okay. First one is, what have you overcome? The second one is, what's kind of fun or quirky or cool about you? Because not everybody's got an overcoming story. Not everybody wants to share an overcoming story, and not everybody's going to resonate with an overcoming story. And here's my favorite one. My friend Eli Delaney, he was living in Phoenix teaching marketing to small businesses. And I was getting these concepts, and I was having lunch with him, and I said, okay, let me tell you this concept. Like, what's cool about you in the past? What have you done? And he said, well, I don't know if this matters or means anything, but back in the day, in the 80s, I was a roadie to like Alice Cooper, Ozzy Osbourne, Megadeth, like all the big 80s bands. I set up all their stages, and my jaw's falling down here. And I'm just like literally jumping across the table going, Eli, you have to use that. And so what I said is, you say, if I could set the stage for Alice Cooper to rock, I can show you how to be the star you are. I thought, I'm just like, holy sweet Jesus, that is the best branding message I've ever seen. Well, strangely, he didn't use it. I don't know why, but think about it. If there's 100 of you in the room, y'all sound the same. There's a bunch of people teaching small business marketing, which was what Eli is doing. They're all talking about this, but Eli's partied with Ozzy Osbourne. Eli's hung out with Alice Cooper, and you're an old 80s rocker. That's going to turn your head. That's going to make you say, holy crap, that guy? Holy shit, I want to party with that guy, right? So again, you see, it's if you be seen for things that you don't even understand. Like, I used to be a really big karaoke singer. I love singing karaoke. So if I'm hiring a business coach and they all have the same qualifications, but you sing karaoke and you have kids and maybe you're divorced, like, you're like me, you understand, you sing karaoke, oh my God, love that. I might hire you for that. So it can be anything. Like a friend of mine, his name Tom, we were working on some messaging for him, and he was talking about the metaphor for his program, and he had skydived bunches of times. Not a bucket list of mine, not ever in hell, ever, never. And Tom had skydived a whole bunch of times. And so he's like, yeah, it's like, and I was asking him, like, what is it? What's the tie in here? And, skydive, you have somebody on your back, literally somebody's on your back. They're directing you. They're making sure you land safely. They navigate. So I came up for this campaign. It's like having Tom on your back. And so if you're talking about the metaphor of skydiving and how a guide is there, so you're going to land safely, you'll be just, it'll be exciting. It's an adventure, but you're not going to crash. Tom's on your back. You see that kind of stuff? That's what I'm saying. So what have you overcome? What is cool? Another one is, what pisses you off? What a surprise. One of my favorites to answer as well. Pisses you off. Okay, now I don't want you going all mean girl. Do not call people out in the industry. Don't say, I cannot believe Shauna does this and Sandy does that and Ed does that and they're wrong. I'm not teaching that. But what you can say is there are trends in the industry. You want to be apples to oranges. In the industry, a lot of people do this. I do this. Because there's a lot of people that are like going, God, I hate that. And so if you try to be the nice girl and like, well, everything's, yeah, and we all sound the same, they're not going to find you. Don't be afraid to be polarizing. Don't be afraid to take a strong stand. Let me tell you this, from a marketing perspective, good marketing not only serves to attract, it repels. What? It repels. And that's really imperative, that it freaking repels. We do not, like, if you have a problem with somebody saying fuck on a video, you shouldn't be in my sphere. I don't use it gratuitously, but occasionally I get excited, right? Occasionally the words fly around. So if you have an issue with that, I need to repel instantly. Like sometimes getting sassy, right? So whatever it is for you, you need to be able to say, and I'm okay repelling the wrong people. What if you're like a pagan? What if you believe in like the earth-based religion, or you're an atheist? You do not want a fundamentalist Christian trying to figure out if you're the right fit or not, because once they get in and you espouse who you are, it's not going to be the right energy. And we never proselytize. We never try to convert people to be our people. They're either our people or they're not our people. So bye-bye, bless and release. Bless them and release them. And so what pisses you off? For me, let me just tell you what pisses me off. I'll tell you. The freaking formulas, the freaking blueprints. Oh, yeah, it makes me nuts. Because here's what happens, right? My specialty is I can show you why things aren't working. So somebody will go, I'll show you how I made 7 figures. That's awesome for them. Props to them. I love that people make money. I will always celebrate people making a bunch of money. That's freaking fabulous, especially women. Yeah. But then they say, use my formula. I'll show you my formula. Here's a problem. Maybe it's not designed for you. Maybe they're a flaming extrovert and they have no problem picking up the phone for cold calls. They love going to 5 networking groups a month. Maybe they've got a shit ton of money so they can invest in Facebook ads and have a big team. And what if you're sitting at home and you're relatively new and you don't have a team and you're an introvert, and the thought of doing a cold call, you'd rather pull your own teeth out? Yeah. And then what happens in the industry is they make you wrong and tell you you don't want it badly enough. Or worse yet, you're not coachable. You know what? I tell you, I get pissed off at this because people are harmed. People are really, really freaking harmed by that. What I do is I work with your values. I work with your energy. I don't put on you how it should be. I don't show you, no, this is how, no, you have to do a webinar. No, you have to do this. There is no such thing as have to. There's what feels right to you. How can I support you to step into that, right? That's how so I customize every single thing. That's what I rail against, because people are freaking harmed by predatory coaches that learned bad marketing and sales tactics, and they make you wrong. And I literally had to do exorcisms to a lot of clients that have been shamed by some coach that was taught a system that started to me. So that's my green. You can tell I'm like literally hot now. So what is it for you? Is there something in your industry? I'll give you an example. It could be, let's say you're working in the health space and you say, you know what pisses me off? That a freaking doctor is not going to listen to you, and they're going to prescribe you something that might not be right for your body, and you might have an adverse reaction. Instead of taking the time to learn about you and hear you and maybe giving you a supplement or an alternative health thing, you're just giving a drug to mask your symptom. Freaking drives me nuts. So that's, again, apples to oranges. Don't be afraid to polarize. Don't be afraid to stick your stake in the ground and say, this is what I believe. And if you need some help with this, reach out, because again, this is the work I do. I love this. I get so lit up because there's also a whole bunch of mindset stuff. This isn't, I mean, I'm giving you these ideas and you're going to finish this podcast and go, shit, I'm terrified. Oh my God, what are they going to think, right? That's the support I would give you, is like how to walk this out. Okay, the fourth one. So number 1, what have you overcome? Number 2, what's kind of fun, cool, unique, quirky? Number 3, what pisses you off? And number 4, what is your stand? What is your stand? That means, what do you want for people? Why are you here? For me, my stand is that you can have a business that serves your life, be fully self-expressed, and make good money. That's my stand. Maybe you're a health or wellness person and you say, my stand is that you can have a healthy body naturally. Maybe you are you in the relationship space. My stand is that you can attract your soulmate and never give yourself up, right? What is your stand? So if there's 100 of you in the room, you're starting to say some of these things. People are like, oh, they're a little bit different. Wow. Okay, how do you do this? You could pick one of the 4. You can pick all the 4. You know, it doesn't have to be Monday you do an overcoming story, Tuesday you do a quirky story. It's not like that at all. You could test it. You know, a really fun idea is pick like 5 clients 5 people that love you and know you. And you can say, okay, can you be in my advisory board? This is what I'd like. I just want to run ideas by you. Like, you once a month, I'm just going to go, hey guys, what about this? What about this? What do you think about this about marketing? Does this resonate with you? Because they're your ideal clients, right? They're the ones that are like, and let them tell you what works and what doesn't work. I was crafting a program a number of years ago, and I just said, can I get your 2 cents? So in a Facebook group, these were my clients, but they were just a bunch of clients in a group. I said, I'm starting a program and I just want to get feedback. And so I put the program outline together, and I've invited them to the call. And I said, if everybody comes to the call, I'll give you each a free session. I'm going to gift a free session, or maybe, no, I think I gifted them a mastermind call or something. Just so I was giving back. You give me feedback, I'm going to give you something as well. And I said, here's the premise. Here's the modules. What's missing? What needs to be added? What do you think about the price? And I actually ran it by a client council, and I got great feedback. And guess what? Many of them ended up signing up for the program because they had buy-in. They helped create it. I think it's a fabulous idea, especially for people that you know and have already worked with you. I have my clients tell me all the time, oh, you should say that. Oh, you should, oh, no, that, yeah, definitely keep that, right? It's kind of, let them help you. Okay. Decide you're going to do it, and just slowly start making a commitment to being seen. And that doesn't mean every single email is like, oh my God, I had such a hard week email, you know? Whatever it is. I'll tell you a story. I love this story because it's a story about authenticity selling. My gosh, how many years ago? 7 years ago? I was in San Francisco at a business event, and I got one of those phone calls you never want to get as a mom. And my probably 13-year-old son at the time was in a basketball game and took a charge and caught an elbow in the eye right here in the face, and had a compound fracture, like his whole face fractured, shattered. And so they took him, and he needed major reconstructive surgery. I'm stuck in San Francisco. It was horrible. Like, he had a piece of bone in his eye. I mean, shattered his whole socket. I mean, it was crazy. So I get home the next day, and it was terrifying as a mom to see, like, because you always go to, oh my God, what could have happened? He could have lost his eye. Like, it's just, yeah. And so needless to say, I didn't write that email the day it was supposed to go out. But a couple of days later, I just posted it. I sent an email, and I put a picture. And I said, hey guys, you know, I try to be in regular contact, and I don't have energy for content, but I want to share with you what's going on in my family. And here's a picture of John. This is what's happened. So if you don't mind, just pray for him. I got a whole bunch of like, oh, you know, prayer, yes, sending blessings. And like 3 days later, from my I want to coach with Therese form came in, and it was like, you know, I want to coach with you. And I had never heard this woman. Her name was Deborah, and I like, oh, okay. And I said, why now? And she said, I read that email, and I'm caring for my elderly parents. And I thought, the way you talked about your son, you have the same values as I do. And I just figured, wow, I want to coach with somebody like that. That's an example of how being seen is beautiful marketing. And she was a delightful client. And the only thing that made her hire me, obviously she had been following me a while, but what pulled the trigger is when I revealed myself even more than just a marketing content piece. So, are you being visible? Are you being seen? You need both. You need both. And if you need some support, now I can't help you grow your Twitter list. I'd love to do more Instagram. I can't figure that out. I just post pictures of my cute boyfriend and my dog. I'm not very good at it. I need help with that, right? That's the visible part. That's not my thing, right? But I can help you be seen. I can help you clear those blocks. I can help you structure it. I can help you strategize the plan for it. So if that is something that you are interested in, just reach out. Message me at ts@thereseskelly.com. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. This is my really favorite. Like, I love talking about this stuff. And so I hope you liked it. As always, feel free to leave us a review. And again, let me know how you liked it. If you want to just message me and just tell me what you're going to do, tell me how you're going to add a little bit more being seen, just email me. I really would welcome that email, ts@thereseskelly.com. And thank you again. Peace and blessings. Much love. Bye.